Story time with Fergie and friends.
Farley, this is incredible. Thank you so much for just cooking up an amazing story for Fergie and friends. You are a wizard. Thank you.
You're also going to need your 3.5-inch cookie cutter with using the straight edge. So we're going to start off with our white covered cupcake. This is a smooth layer of white fondant with a 3.5-inch cutter. And then we're going to take our grey, warm up your grey, just move the cupcake out of the way. And then I'm just going to roll out the grey, cut out a full circle, but we don't actually need a full circle. Using the same cutter, I'm going to use a straight edge, cut out a disc, and then we're just going to cut less than half of that off. This is going to be for the unicorn's snout. So we want that shape, and it's going to be for the snout across his little nose, like that. Take that bit away, and then we're just going to bring over our cupcake with a little bit of glue on your brush, paint a little bit of glue at the bottom, and then you're going to tidy up those little edges along there and stick your little snout across the bottom of the cupcake. Now just make sure it's nice and stuck down. I use a little bit of corn flour on my finger so that my finger doesn't stick to the fondant and drag off the detail. Then wipe it across the top. And you want it to sit flush on your cupcake, so nice and smooth. Use the heat from your finger to put it in position. And just make sure it's joined along the bottom and squash down at the sides, like so. And then I'm going to take a spike tool and I'm just going to create those nostrils. So I'm just going to press in one there and one there, like so. You've got his little nostrils, and I'm just going to tidy up. I'm very picky about making sure things look nice and tidy. So just if you need to, just take your little mini palette knife and have a tidy. Then for his eye holes, I think it look cuter if you do the eye holes further apart, but you can do them close together if you want to, but I like to do them at the side. So I'm just going to make a little hole with my ball tool, like that. And I've got some edible pearls here. Don't use any water with these edible pearls because the black will come off instantly, and you'll have a very sad looking unicorn. Looks like his mascara's run. So we just put those in there, press them down. The fondant, the wet fondant, fresh fondant will hold them in place. And then I'm just going to use the other end of the ball tool, and I'm going to make a little hollow at the top of his head, like that. And a little indentation, quite deep, but not through to the buttercream. Just that's going to be where his unicorn horn sits, so it just helps it support it. Then I'm going to take a little bit of white fondant, and I'm going to roll 2 circles of white. Like that. These are going to be for his ears, and I'm going to take my spike tool again, the one that I use for his nostrils, and I'm just going to create little shapes. So from a circle, I'm just going to hold the circle, and I'm going to press that spike tool in to make that little triangle, and I'm going to squeeze that to a point, and I do the same again. I'm going to hold the circle, press that in, and squeeze this end to a point, and then you've got his little ears. I'm just going to stick those either side of the hole. So where I've got the indentation, I'm going to put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. And then I'm going to stick my horns on. My ears. I'm going to make the horn in a second. Stick the ears on like that. There, just there. So you've got enough space for the horn to go, and you're going to have some straggles of hair as well. So can you see how it's coming together? Going to make the unicorn's horn. It's up to you what colour you do. You can do any colour you like. I'm going to do brown, and I'm just going to take a small ball of fondant. You won't need all of this, you'll end up chopping some off probably, and I'm just going to roll it into a little tube like so. Don't worry about how neat it looks. And then all I'm going to do is, having 2 thinner ends like that, I'm just going to bring those round to join, squeeze them together, don't worry about glue, and then all I'm going to do is twist them. So can you see as I twist them, twisting them more and more. So it depends on the size of the horn you want for your unicorn. If you want a really large horn, then you can keep it this size. If you want to cut some off, you can. With those at the end, I just pinch those a little bit, make it into a little bit more of a spike. So it's up to you. If you want a really big horn, you can keep the whole thing. I'm just going to chop off the end of this here, especially when it's wet and I'm demoing. I want to show you what you do. If you're making lots of these, you can just leave those to dry and they'll stick much better rather than using fresh fondant. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in that indentation there, and I'm going to stand my unicorn horn just there. So this is very wet, untreated fondant, so we'll be lucky if he stands up, but he's going to, because he's going to behave for us. There you go, like that. Then I've got different colours for the hair, so I'm just going to take little strands, little tiny balls of colour, and roll them out quite rapidly in my hand like that. And then what we can do is just cover his ears and around his horn with some glue or edible water, edible glue or water. It's up to you what you're using. And then you can just kind of manipulate the strands of hair depending where you want them to go. That one's quite a long one. Slightly shorter one. Don't worry about what the back looks like at the moment, just worry about the front. We can chop all those off. Just want to get the important part, what they look like at the front. So you're just building up all the different colours, whatever colours you want. Building them up. And this will also help support your horn. So if you need these quite quickly, if you build up, a little tip is if you build up around the horn, that's going to help support your horn as well. Do a few more. Like that. Let's have some blue. I like making them slightly curly, so I just use my brush to manipulate them a little bit. And build them up. Sometimes it's just nice to see where they fall. Sometimes you can manipulate them a little bit. I need a bit of symmetry. And then you just build them up. Keep wrapping them around the back of the horn as well, just to support it. Even if it's dry, you still want that support at the back as well. Have a little bit of blue on this side. Like that. You can lift those up before they dry. Just make sure you've got them in the position you want them to stay in. Like that, and maybe a little bit green this side. And then what we're going to do after I've done this last one, we're going to give him his cheeks. Don't want hair in his eye, like that. Just at the back, can you see that? All I'm going to do is take my mini palette knife and chop those off and then press them down, and they're nice and secure. And that's really supporting the horn on the top as well. And then the final thing we're going to do, I'm just going to take some pink edible dust. This one's called Pink Candy. A lovely colour, my favourite colour. And I'm just going to take a little bit of dust, edible dust, tap the excess in the pot, and I'm just going to give him some little pink cheeks. Like that. Super cute. And then you've got your little unicorn. Super sweet.
With Fergie and friends, with Fergie and friends.